I've had a multi-million-dollar commercial real estate portfolio that was actively managed. I'm a general partner in 8 different multifamily syndications, investing in over $221 million worth of real estate. My real estate investment firm, which I started in 2019, has invested in 1,623 multifamily real estate units across emerging markets in the United States. And I started in this country with no connections, no mentors, knowing nothing, and I had negative $390,000 in student loan debt. Kind of impressive, right? I mean, for me it is. I still pinch myself that, hey, how did you get here? Well, let me tell you, all the stuff that I've achieved over the last 15 years was anything but a linear path. My path was up, down, go up a little bit, and then get hit again, go all the way down, patch up a problem, only to find 3 more problems. You hear about all these success stories where a dentist or anybody that just starts investing in real estate and it's just a linear progression. Hey, I just got richer and richer. I just kept making better and better investments. Well, that's not my story. My path, like I said, was anything but linear. I made lots of mistakes. I got duped by bad actors. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've faced immeasurable amounts of stress that's involved with actively managing real estate. That's why I'm bald. I used to have a full head of hair. I used to look like Brad Pitt. No, I'm just kidding. Most importantly, I was time poor. I lost complete control of my time. However, all of these downs and mistakes and tribulations that I went through as an investor over the last 15 years, as a person, is what was the catalyst that allowed me to have tremendous amounts of growth. You see, when you take a bunch of losses or you struggle, you're faced with really 2 choices. One is either, hey, this isn't working for me, this only works for other people, I'm gonna quit, or I'm going to take these lessons, I'm going to take these losses, I'm gonna take these licks that I had to run away with my tail between my legs, and I'm gonna use them as building blocks to make myself a better person. When you take losses, it makes you, it forces you to look within. What caused this to fail? Was it something that I didn't do? Was it something external? Or is it a combination of both? If I would have just been successful in my early investments and I would have made money, I wouldn't have learned anything. I may have made some major mistakes, but since I still made money, these mistakes were covered over or glossed over, and you become blinded by success. And now you move on into a larger property that's 5 times the size. Well, the mistakes are amplified 5 times also. So in my case, I made the mistakes early on with smaller properties, right? When I was just trying to learn the business. Those losses not only humble you, but it also makes you dig deeper. What was the problem? And how can you fix that problem? That's when I went deep into learning about the due diligence of real estate. I learned about underwriting real estate, things to look for. What are the most important factors to consider before you make a real estate investment? There's many things you have to consider. You have to look at where you're going to invest. You got to look at what type of real estate you're going to invest in. And if you're investing passively in real estate, you have to choose which operators you're going to partner with. Now, the problem with my approach is it took me 15 years to get to this point. It took me 15 years in the school of hard knocks, going through turmoil, losing money in order for me to get to this point. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down what I would do differently if I could start from scratch. How would I approach it differently? And hopefully by watching this video, it can help you prevent a lot of the mistakes that I made when I was getting started. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Johnny Walker, aka Dr. Janatha Withanachchi. Oh man, you guys are too kind, man. Too kind. All right. Welcome back. Like I said, we're very excited. On this channel, we help dentists, successful business owners make the transition from rich to wealthy, to go from time poor to financial freedom. I made it my mission to help dentists make this transition because most of us fail miserably. The vast majority of us are dependent solely on our dental income for survival. And this creates a very perilous situation should anything happen to you. Yeah, sure, you have disability insurance, but is that enough? Are those disability insurance getting eroded by inflation, right? Which it is. So unless you're increasing your disability every year, your actual coverage decreases with inflation. However, if we learn to invest passively in real estate and develop true passive streams of income, when those passive streams of income are substantial enough to cover our monthly expenses, that's when you've achieved true financial freedom. That's when you can now work for a doctor, not for money. Because you're not driven by money anymore. You have the income to survive. So now when you're practicing and working on your patients and serving your community, it's only for an altruistic purpose. And some of you may not want to be a dentist anymore. Some of us are feeling burnout. We're sick of our profession. We're sick of seeing patients every day. People start to bother us. Our staff starts to bother us. You have lower back stiffness. You just want to stay in bed sometimes. You want to spend more time with your aging parents. They're getting older. They're not going to be around forever. But you're here stuck in the grind. Well, that's what this channel is supposed to do. Financial freedom for dentists means, hey, we have a great income. And if we invest in the right things, then we can replace our active income. I don't want to get too serious. Let's keep this a little lighthearted. Let's get down to what we're talking about in this video. Number one, the very first thing that I would do, and this wasn't available to me back then, is I would immerse myself in education. Education, there's a plethora of information out there, even to the point that there's too much information out there. How do you choose which is the right real estate advice and which is the wrong? But the point is that there is a lot of information out there. So education is critical. Education was critical for me throughout my life. To go from a poor immigrant to becoming a doctor, earning a great income. The key that allowed me to scale my real estate investing and stop making major mistakes was also immersing myself in education. And as a result, that's why I created my website and this YouTube channel, is to provide a source of trusted information, trusted educational resources that's curated for you, the busy dentist. So this channel is for us, by us. The information is curated especially for us. All right, number two, define goals and strategy. I lack this. This was also a result of me not being new in the game and not having anyone show me, not having a lot of education. I only had the handful of books that I read, and that was all that was available back then when I started investing in 2009. I was just like, hey, look, I just want to invest in real estate. So I was buying a single family house, townhouse in New Jersey, and then I'd buy parking lot in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and then a strip mall in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, and then another property in New York. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, look, as long as I just keep investing and buying lots of real estate, then I'll become wealthy, right? But there was no real true strategy there. I just knew a bunch of tactics. But when you throw a bunch of tactics together, but they're not really working towards one overarching goal, then you get lost. You lose efficiencies of scale. It's harder to manage and you're not focused on one type of asset class. So you're trying to learn about parking lots, industrial land, warehouse, and retail property all at the same time. That's also a recipe for disaster, right? I believe that going deep is better than going wide, right? By going deep, you get intricate information, you get asymmetric understanding compared to anybody else. This gives you a competitive advantage over the shallow investor, right? The guy is just learning stuff superficially. So going deep and then having a focused strategy. My strategy switched completely once I learned about this stuff. I focused on anything that gives me passive income that's independent of my time in a very risk mitigated manner. I don't want just income, any income. I want income that's most likely going to make it to my bank account. Which type of investment is most predictably going to provide me with cash flow month after month after month, or year after year after year? So I started investing. They have to be passive without involvement of my time, and it has to provide me income. It has to build wealth without involvement of my time. And I need to achieve all of these things in a highly risk mitigated fashion. Once I defined my strategy and what I was going to focus on, then the answer appeared before me, right? Multifamily real estate provides a lot of these things. So it's not like I was a multifamily real estate investor and hey, look, I only love multifamily real estate. No, my strategies led me to multifamily real estate, right? Multifamily real estate checks a lot of the box. It helps us build cash flow. It helps us build wealth, and it allows us to get really high returns with a very risk mitigated strategy. So now, anytime I make an investment decision or I have an opportunity that comes my way, I don't just get pulled left or right. I have guardrails. My guardrails are my strategy, and it's a very clearly defined strategy. So if I get an investment opportunity or I get a distraction that's pulling me left or right that isn't congruent with my goals, my criteria, then it makes the answer very easy for me. Because if it's not passive, it's not building wealth, and it's not in a low risk fashion, then I'm not interested. It's easy for me to say no. And successful investors should be able to say no 99 times out of 100 and only pick the ones that are truly suitable for them. Or number 3, get a mentor. I saw my success level skyrocket once I started getting mentorship. I wish I had mentorship when I got started 15 years ago. I got mentorship 4 years ago, and I achieved 10 times the amount of success I had in a short 4 years than I did in the previous 11. So mentorship adds rocket fuel to anything that you do. I don't care what it is that you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to learn how to place zygomatic implants, 30, 40 millimeter implants into the bone here, go get a mentor. Pay for mentorship. Paying to work with somebody that's done what you're trying to achieve and is doing it at a highly successful level will give you more education and put you further ahead. They have connections. They know people. They have access to resources, apps, technology, things that you couldn't even think about. All right, there you guys have it. The top 3 things that I would do differently if I were to start investing in real estate from scratch in 2023. Right? Number 1, get educated. Lots and lots of education in the area that you're investing. Education will increase your knowledge, will increases your predictability of making correct investments. Number 2, have defined goals and strategy. By knowing what you're looking for, by knowing what your buy box, your investor criteria are, it's very easy for you to say no to investments that are non-congruent. You're less likely to be distracted and pushed chasing the next shiny object. And of course, number 3, probably the most important, is get a mentor. A mentor will fast track your success 10 times more than anything else. If you do these 3 things, you will greatly reduce the chances of making costly mistakes. You will greatly reduce the chances of you losing your invested capital. And you will, on the flip side, increases the chances of you becoming successful and profitable. All right, speaking of mentorship, I would be remiss if I don't mention that we have a 2-day workshop coming up that will be taught by me. So if you are a beginner dentist and you just want to learn how to get started with investing in real estate, well, this 2-day course is going to be perfect for you. We're going to break down all the important terms. We're going to look at what markets, how to evaluate what markets to invest in. We're going to talk about how to choose and vet an operator, how to do due diligence on properties themselves. We're going to look at breaking down an offering. If you get a real estate offering, how do you break it down? How do you know if it's a good offering or not? What questions should you be asking? What are some of the red flags, right? So I'm going to teach you my process that's allowed us to acquire $241 million of multifamily real estate. And that's going to be a 2-day workshop. It's going to be a Saturday and Sunday. The dates are still yet to be determined. If you are interested in our workshop, just comment the word interested in the comments below and we will reach out to you with next steps. All right, guys, there you have it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the like button, leave a comment. Give us suggestions for future videos. All right, click on the next video to keep building your wealth building knowledge. And until next time, to quote the great Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other. I'm Johnny Walker. Boom.